Welcome to Out Here in the Redwoods. My name is Ellen Marie, and this evening we're joined by Chris Smith, who is someone who participates in filmmaking, and we're going to let him tell a little bit about what kind of filmmaking exactly he does. Welcome to the show today, Chris.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
It's nice to have you. So let's start out with what exactly it is that you do.
I film local events, and I make promotional videos for local performers and artists, and I film actively just in the area, anything that's going on and it's around the area.
Right on, right on. Where are you from?
I'm from inland a little bit, Tama County, and then I moved up here about 7 or 8 years ago, and now I'm enjoying it here.
Right on, right on. So you're kind of a local boy?
I'm a local boy, yes.
Right on, right on. So filmmaking, what exactly got you into filming stuff?
I grew up just having fun with the camera and friends and stuff, and then keeping the footage, and it just was fun to be able to recap on that, and then started seeing other people filming things, and it was just really fun to see. And after that, I started getting a taste for it, and then wanting to participate in local events and stuff, and seeing how other people film, and then got into a class at College of the Redwoods, and then got more involved in there with the community and stuff, and then started making stuff.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
So when you were messing around with your friends, what would be the kind of stuff that you guys would film? Like pranks and stuff?
Yeah, we just run around or go kind of like party stuff at lakes and stuff, and just random, just running around. But then I would keep this footage for so long, and then I'd show it to them later, and they were just like, "Oh man, that's crazy! You still got that stuff." And then I started playing with editing software and stuff, and then that was just fun to see it go from this home-looking stuff to kind of fairly better looking than it was, and then
right on.
Yeah.
Right on. That's really cool. So, if you don't mind my asking, you mentioned some classes. Do you have a degree?
No,
in
I just took a
filmmaking?
couple classes at. Actually, I audited the same class at CR for video production because it was such a fun class. And it was the only thing I could just afford at the time. And I just needed to learn how to work the program more than anything. After that, I just kind of took it from there.
Totally, totally. So just a couple of classes and your filming equipment. I mean, is that really expensive?
Well, I got lucky. I had a friend that had 2 cameras that were really nice, and they were the same ones, but he wasn't really into cameraing at the time. He did it for his brother, and then so I was like, hey, you should just let me borrow one and then try stuff. And then it was high definition, so it was way funner because I started with the little tape kind of style stuff, and then capturing that just takes too long and stuff. So just putting a little memory card in a camera, and then just being able to just run and be able to quickly adjust things. If you mess up, you can just delete it and do something else instead of that's it, you know.
Totally, totally. That must have really changed how you approached filmmaking, maybe?
Yeah, because the definition was more, and then going from auto to manual. I did a lot of auto settings. I didn't even understand what manual was, and then it was kind of scary at first because it's just all these settings and buttons. Usually you just hit record on a camera and go, and then everything adjusts itself.
Wow, wow. So there's a lot more to it, obviously, than just hitting record and going.
Yeah, you got to you work your way around a camera, and every camera is different. A lot of cameras have the same things, but different companies set up things way differently too.
Oh, so it makes it that much more fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
more
on.
stuff to learn and stuff.
Right on, right on. So I'd love for you to tell us about the videos that you make in the community.
Let's see, the local ones, I worked with a fire effects crew called the Mischief Lab, and that was kind of my first start of doing anything like editing and producing and showing people what it is that I do. And we did a couple shows in Arcata. There was a 4th of July show that they gave us the Crab Stadium Park because they weren't allowed fireworks or something up there one year, so they gave us that, and then I filmed that like a couple angles, and I was playing with speed time lapse of audience coming in and stuff and filling up the stadium, and then just big fire effects shows, and then just cutting and editing it with the song, just editing to the song, so that made the editing make sense, and instead of I don't know, trying to figure out how it's all going to fit together, I would just work it to the music instead of vice versa.
Rad, rad.
Yeah.
So when you think about setting up and actually filming a video like that, I mean, you know, everybody's so mesmerized, especially with like music videos and stuff, because they're so like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect, and oh, I totally have to be there. And so like, is it actually like that when you're filming? Yeah,
it's good to learn how to edit as you're filming. Like, you got to see the project as a whole. But sometimes you could be lost too, and then you're just covering a whole bunch of stuff. The more you cover, the more you'll have to play with when you go into editing. So don't like slim yourself and just assume, oh, I'll film for like 10 minutes and that's it. It's like you need like a couple hours or the whole thing to find those like 2-second moments or whatever.
Wow. Okay, so there's way more to it than just setting up a camera and expecting you're going to have the video of a lifetime from it.
No, you got it. There's more process to it.
Rad. Now, I know when we were talking before this show, you had mentioned that you work with a bunch of different community groups. Tell us about some of the groups that you've worked with and some of the places we probably would have seen one of your videos.
I worked with a local band called Motherload, which is a jazz funk band in Arcata. And that was one of my first multi-camera editing with a live band. And other people, Mateel, just doing like events out there with them at the Mateel Hall.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
right on. How does that work? Like, because that's like an inside venue. So how would you go about like setting up to film a video for them?
Well, you gotta work your way through channels to get in with those guys, but you just gotta setting up there. You come in there first, and then you look at the area, and then you go like, okay, there's going to be a whole bunch of people in these areas, so you can't really just set up a camera anywhere. So you look around for your shots where you're going to be permanently there. So, and then then the place fills up, and then you hope you didn't put a camera where there's like a bunch of drunk people or something.
Oh,
or just,
wow. Right on.
Because it's live music, so.
Right on. Do you ever get to work with like cranes or?
I got to work with a jib actively, actually, just this last Reggae on the River. That was like my first like actual being on a production. That was pretty cool because they had headsets and stuff, and like you got to like there's like a director running everything. And it's a manual jib, so it's not like where there's certain jibs that are motorized, so then you just have a little dial and then it'll pan and tilt for you. So it's kind of tricky learning, like, because one of them is up is down and down is up, and then everything else is like left and right.
Oh wow! So for like the manual one, like remote control car
well, no,
style?
Manual is you're actually physically moving everything. Yeah. So there's like it's like 3 little arms. Like one goes up down for the tilt, and then pan is left and right, and then you're moving the whole thing too.
Wow! So that must be quite a
It was a little tricky, But luckily, like I picked it up not too long.
And that's how you get like the cool shots, right? Like the
when you're
soaring over shots.
Yeah, or you're coming up onto the subject, or you're like eye level with the subject, or you could pan over the audience and like pan over their heads, and they all look up, and everybody wants to, have that look with that magic little moment and stuff.
Oh, totally, for sure. You talk a lot about editing and like putting it together later. What does it mean? Okay, so now you have a pile of footage. What's next?
Well, from there, it just depends on who wants the production done. If it's a personal interest thing, you have a little bit more free fun with it because then it's kind of your own creative idea. But if you're like have a deadline and somebody like hired you to do it, then they have their own vision and you just kind of bring it to that. And so you just kind of collaborate back and forth. They're like, we want a lot of quick motion and energetic looking and with audience and stuff, so you just incorporate you find all those pieces in there that put that together. Right
on. So you could actually take like the same piece of film and make it look like 4 or 5 different ways? Yeah,
well, it's all, in the editing process, that's the magic. So it depends, if you have 3 or 4 different angles, then that, you have like your film, have somebody just doing the audience, and then you have like 3 people do, if you have emotion is big too, because if it's constantly moving, and everything just looks like this flowing thing nonstop. So you stay with it. It keeps you entertained.
Wow, that's really cool, man. Like all the stuff is just kind of flying at me, and it's a lot to take in because it's very like technical, and and it's something I've been very interested in. So it's really hard not to like just completely get lost in what you're saying.
Me too.
And think about my own small ventures in doing my own little filmmaking and editing. It's really great. Is there anything, okay, so you were a kid with a video camera, and one day when I was hanging out at the Arcade of Marsh, it was kind of weird. I saw these two boys and like a flip camera just marching around doing their thing. You know, and I'm sure that there's young people that watch our shows because they're on at an appropriate time. Is there anything you might have to say to the young people that are doing what you were doing?
Just keep filming and just run around with it and get find a little basic editing program like Windows Movie Maker, I think I started with, or something. Just super basic timeline, throw it in there, and you could have little effects and transitions and stuff like that. And YouTube's super useful for any kind of tutorial you could ever think of.
Oh, that's cool.
So that skips a lot.
Oh, so that just made it like super easy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, kids, if you really want to do filmmaking, it's all out there for you.
Oh yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, to talk more about what the next projects are that are coming up. I mean, you've done all this awesome stuff. What's on tap for you?
Just the regular festival routes coming up. I got Summer Arts Music Festival this year. I'm hoping, it's looking like 100% I should be able to run the production myself because they don't really film that much at Summer Arts. So I thought it'd be a really fun test playground because I just got a live mixing board and a few cameras, and I'm learning how to do live production and live streaming and stuff too. So yeah, they're like, yeah, just go for it and learn. That's
cool. Live streaming.
Yeah.
Do you need any special equipment to do that? Like if you have a camera, what do you need?
Live stream is free. You just need really solid internet access. You just make an account and then and basically you plug whatever you're running through, like hopefully you got a board or something if you're doing multiple angles. If you're just doing one camera, you can plug it like into, I think you could do webcam is the quickest one. You could just laptop webcam and then straight to live stream. But if not, you're doing if you're going a bigger production and you do multiple cameras through a board and then a converter that can read it to the laptop and then that can do the live stream from there.
Right on, because you're talking about all that boardy stuff and I'm like, wow, that's really cool because I just think about, you know, the little videos that they were bringing from like Ground Zero, Zuccotti Park, you know, the Occupy stuff, and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. So when you go to do all these big festivals and stuff, are you camping there?
I love camping.
Can you commute there? I mean, is it like a big party?
Yeah, it's all the above. It's a lot of festivals are 3 days, so yeah, you're on site, and then just depending on what kind of job you are, if you're production, then you're there on site. But there's B-roll and stuff and like beauty scenes and stuff. You could just go around and take time lapses of like evening shots or people doing stuff, and that kind of adds. You can incorporate that with the video to give it more the effect. Instead of just standing in front of a stage, you can see what's going on everywhere else.
Wow, that's really cool. And you said you were going to be coordinating production somewhere.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. I've did my own kind of like lower budget, not really like just filming with like almost handheld, and then that's been working just because they don't really have a production there for just that event. But now that, you know, I'm learning, like, you need stuff on tripods, you need like fluid motion and not like just this jumpy, jerky kind of stuff, and then hope that works. And so learning how to use the board with all that and having a little crew and just basically doing what I learned from just doing reggae. I did just the 3 days there, I understood how the production level worked just with headsets and having a director tell you to like, okay, pan left here, pan right there, okay, everybody get in position, get ready for this, you know, like tell you if the cameras are running too hot in certain areas because the sun's beating through the back of the stage and you're like lined up with it. So
cool. Wow. I mean, that sounds like just, I don't know, man, like being tossed into the deep end of a swimming pool, kind of. I mean, for somebody like me, Wow, that is just that's really cool.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Rad. And so you mentioned the Summer Arts Festival was one of the ones that you'll be filming?
That'll be the next year one. That'll be my first time actually like doing like my own production, which it's pretty relaxed there at Summer Arts. It's not like big, like intense and stuff. It's actually be pretty fun and chill. Right on. And is there anything else you have lined up after that?
After that,
or Reggae on the Rivers got 30th anniversary, so they're dumping pretty good into the live stream. They want to go big on that.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna have big production on that. And then the guy I met through them, he's actually gonna try to get me into a festival down in Monterey. It's called Cali Roots, and it's more like a little more mainstreamy reggae, like bands like
Okay.
311 and stuff, and like
Okay.
and I think Damian Marley and stuff will be there. So that'll be cool to get like out, to branch out to other.
Yeah,
Because it's all
totally.
networking. Is what
Totally,
it boils down
totally. And Monterey is one of those places where it's like it's still, awesome, beachy, but it's
Yeah.
not quite SoCal.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
a
you're
lot
not
of
all the
people
way-
from SoCal would come to something
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I can imagine that would be just like a hotbed of awesome networking.
Oh yeah, and then more
things that you
people.
could
Yeah,
do.
it's pretty much in this industry. It's just getting in front of people and then them seeing you and then seeing that you could do things. And then they're like, oh, okay. Instead of like, oh, how do I get anywhere in this industry? It's really just getting there and then just meeting a couple people and then just branching out from there and then see what works for you or what works for them, or if they need help or something, then they can see you're the person that can do that.
Rad.
And then then you're just friends with
Rad.
them, and then you don't even think of it that big anymore. You're just like, oh, I'm helping somebody that I know now.
Awesome, awesome. Would if somebody really wanted to get involved, if they were more like, oh, I feel like I should probably take a class first before just jumping into
Oh
it.
yeah. You want to learn
Right
at
on.
least basic editing and stuff, and how to like hold a camera, and manual settings are crucial.
Right on,
Yeah,
right
because
on.
the world's manual.
Are you able to network from a classroom like that?
Well, yeah. Well,
Like-
you're not only exposed to other people that are in the area that have an idea of that, but you'd be surprised a few of them. Their parents could be doing something, or their brother could be somewhere or something doing something, and then they'll give you assignments to go with locally in the area and go find out if there's anything that can be covered. And then from there, you never know. Somebody might be like, hey, cool, you film. You want to like do this for like $20 tonight or something? And then you just kind of work your way from there.
Rad,
Just keep your mind open to those things.
rad. So it's just kind of a freelance
Yeah,
kind of
it's all
kind of a
network.
lifestyle.
Yeah,
Right
unless you
on.
get like a degree and then you're awesome, and then you can like get your way up into, like, here's my degree and this is what I could do for you. Then you could land probably bigger jobs quicker, but still could be a flooded market too. You never know.
Totally. Rad. There's just so much about all of this that's
it's
just
good.
so like intriguing. This whole world, the networking and just getting in front of people and having
Mm-hmm.
them, just see you. Did you find that it was difficult then to get started?
Oh yeah.
Or
Yeah, it's difficult to get started because you don't know where to start. So you're like, all right, I guess I could try to figure something out, and then it just depends on your motivation. If you see something that could be filmed, then you can like go try it. Like I did that with Oyster Fest and Kinetic Sculpture Race. I was like, these are great events, and I don't really see like a lot of coverage. I don't see anything online. So then I would just go there, show up with a camera, and then I'd talk to a lady, and she's like, yeah, we can get you a pass. Here's a media pass. Just go ahead and run around and do this. And I was like, okay. And then just cover the event. It's just how much you could apply yourself to those things before you make it anywhere. Because you need to show people that you could do things, and you need product.
so there's kind of a lot of working for free. In the
Yeah,
beginning.
it's all free.
Okay.
Until you figure it out,
Okay.
and then you know your worth and your value and stuff like that.
Right on.
And then you could, then you feel more confident with what you're doing, and then you know how the industry works. And then,
Right.
you can't just walk in a door not knowing anything.
Right.
You got to learn and start from the bottom. And
Totally. So was Kinetic Sculpture Race one of the first things that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
got you noticed in the
it's
industry?
it's a big local event, and it's 3 days. Yeah, and just like talking to people that are other photographers and stuff, and other people that are shooting stuff. You always see somebody with a camera, and if you shoot, you go, hi, what are you shooting with? And like, cool, that's awesome, and how long you've been in the area and stuff. And you just kind of network with those people, and then they'll either have a bunch of ideas or they'll be to their self, or either way, you just work your way through there.
Right on. Now I do kind of want to go a little bit of a different direction.
Okay.
Just for a quick moment.
That's
have
fine.
you ever traveled outside the area? Like
Yeah.
live significantly?
No, I've been in
Okay,
Cali.
but-
Yeah,
but-
I've been a California kid like my whole life.
I mean, mostly like Humboldt County. Have you
Yeah.
ever lived outside of Humboldt County, Tehama County?
Yeah, like Redding for a little bit
Okay.
and stuff. Yeah, I stayed Northern
Okay.
California a lot. Yeah.
Okay, right on. When you travel outside of Northern California to go to the other venues, or at other areas, do you find that it's different or the same?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
are there
no.
any,
Humboldt
like,
County is its
cultural
own.
issues?
This place will. This is a good starting ground because people are very comfortable and open and like allowing of local things like this. If you go to like the city or anything, people are a lot more strict, and they're like, you know, it's bigger, more city. Humboldt's like its own little universe, I think.
Right on.
It's great.
Right on. Right on. And do you think that because you were here, you know, in this kind of relaxed atmosphere, rather in you know, someplace busier, that you actually had a chance to maybe go farther than you could have?
Yes, this place.
Right on.
Yeah, I probably would have been beaten way more like military style in other areas.
Wow.
You know, like here it's just like, hey, you want to shoot something cool? Come over, let's shoot this. Or yeah, go ahead, throw the camera over there. That's fine.
Right on. Right on, right on. Wow. Just hearing from other people, you know, because I always hear from musicians, wow, this is such a great area to be in, you know, mostly because there's not a bunch of distractions.
Yes.
You know, but I guess it's good for that too, because the relaxed, laid back attitude, you can have your work accepted.
Exactly. And
awesome.
and get a little critique here and there from people and stuff.
Awesome. I'm just so interested in it. I'm really like, it's really kind of bugging me, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to like talk more to this guy, and I want to really pick his brain and all this technical stuff that maybe not necessarily our viewers really want to hear about, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about, like, you know, could somebody just like take a camera to Arts Alive, maybe make a promo video of Arts Alive?
If you
get started that way?
Yeah, through Arts Alive, it's a local event, so it'd be public. You would just go who runs it and see if there is coverage of anything on it, you know? And then if there's not, that's a good, you get into those things that aren't being covered, because people will notice that and they're like, oh, cool, somebody's doing that, you know? And then maybe you can get sponsored or something by somebody locally, because this county does like to support everything locally, which is awesome. So. Totally.
And it seems like one of the biggest, you know, one of the biggest, sorry, the word escapes me, but one of the biggest overarching ideas that you constantly talk about is networking.
Yeah,
so it's
network's
definitely
huge.
One of those things you can't be afraid to walk up to somebody and just say, hey, this is me and this is what I do.
Yeah, well, it's character and just accepting other characters.
Excellent.
You know, so yeah, you want to probably approach people that are doing like art stuff, you know, like, or just have an actual motive that you're doing, you know, like if you're interviewing just locals in the area and you want like characters, so you scout out like, oh, that guy looks pretty fun, he's happy, so let's ask him what he thinks about Arts Alive and stuff like that, or film like a couple songs from a local, somebody that's out front of a building singing or something like that. You're just trying to capture that what it is.
What it is, and that's what you do with the promo videos. You take the event and then you give it to everyone.
Yeah, we'll take 5 days and make it 3 minutes, and then they go, I've been there for 5 days.
Rad. That's really cool. Man, the magic of video editing.
Yeah, editing's it could get pretty fun. I like it more when it's like personal, because then you feel more relaxed with it, and it's like totally your own creativity, and then. But also like structure of working for other people too can, you know, get you can still get the same fun, creative out of it too. And then when you get like the feedback from people, they're like, oh, this is amazing, or you should change this, or like, oh, that's too long, that scene's way too long, or something. You're like, oh, I didn't even pay attention to that. You know, it's good to have an outside opinion.
Wow, that's really cool. That's making me think kind of about my job too, because I work for a nonprofit, so now I'm like, at our next event, maybe I should, you know, try out some of these things that you've suggested.
Yeah.
Wow, a bunch of awesome ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been absolutely enlightening, and I want to know more about you though. So you grew up in Tehama, any specific city?
A little tiny town named Corning.
Oh, right on. I love their olives.
Yeah, it was a really small community, and I really had to get out of a little small community. So I'd always.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was fun for the most part, just like growing up in a little area. But I was like, there's got to be way more out there than just a small little town. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
funny that you came to Humboldt. I mean, this is, you know, another community of small towns, but I can imagine.
It's more fun here.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I actually would hitchhike a lot and stuff, and then. Yeah, I actually found this place by hitchhiking.
Wow, really? Hitchhiking?
Yeah,
right
I loved hitchhiking.
Right on. So you're definitely a gentleman of the world.
Yeah, like.
That's rad. That's rad. You never know.
Yeah.
Look at that. Right on. You're so interesting, and this has just been a wonderful conversation. And I just want to pick your brain more about editing. I want to show you some of the videos that I've made recently.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down to check it out.
And I want to talk about it. I love this. This has been fantastic. And Yeah, I really hope that our viewers are able to take something away from this. I think some things that we might want to go over just for those that might be watching this because they are interested in film. Take a class, go to CR, take a class.
Yeah, they got a lot of Adobe stuff there. I thought that was really cool, like
rad.
Photoshop, After Effects. I mean, these are like amazing programs.
Yeah. Photoshop's actually some of the things that we're able, or excuse me, Adobe. Those are programs we're able to, enjoy here at the Community Media Center, and I was just floored by all the things that they're able to do.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, beautiful, like fantastic, beautiful things, things I never imagined were possible.
Yeah, Photoshop does amazing stuff. And then there's another program called Lightroom, which is depending if you're more, Photoshop's like I've been noticing more flyer based and stuff and bringing out stuff like that. And Lightroom is more photo based, where like if you're editing raw images and stuff like that, it's just more meant for photo. So that's a good thing to know the difference between instead of, because Photoshop, it can get really intense, and then you have to know the dimensions of everything, and then Lightroom, you just toss it in there and it knows it. So.
Okay, so it's not just, picking a program. It's picking from the pool of programs that all would be just fine for your project, but it's picking the right one for the right project.
Exactly.
Wow, so all the more reason to go and take a class and get with some friends and
learn it all
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really incredible. It's been so great having a chat with you today, and I don't know, man, it kind of makes me think a little differently about those crazy boys I saw walking around at the Arcata Marsh, and it makes me really want to, next time we go birding there, I'll probably take a camera on my own.
Just use your eyes and look around and see something that looks like a good shot. Shots are everywhere.
Now, just out of curiosity, because it's Thursday, do you have any awesome plans lined up for the coming days ahead? Are you filming any place awesome and I need to be looking for a promo video in the next few weeks?
No, I just finished the Reggae on the River promotional video for tickets are going on sale on the 10th.
Oh, neat.
So yeah, I got to do a little promo video out of like 50 gigs that I pulled like less than a minute just to get like a quick, a lot of promotional videos are actually getting a lot shorter now because people's attention spans are getting shorter because how everything's quick. Oh yeah. But you just got to get it across within that nice little quick frame.
Totally. Totally. That's really cool. So the promotional video that you're making is from footage that you filmed last
It was
year?
actually gave to me from a couple other people that were running around filming at Reggae. Yeah, so this was like one of my first times learning how to like take other people's footage and then make sense out of it. Yeah, it was kind of cool to see how different people shoot.
Cool.
So yeah, it was interesting. I was like, oh, like half of it I'm like, the other half I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even really think of shooting that or those things. So everything is a shot. It's just finding the way to make it a shot.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So there's, even a new step in what seems like a new step in your career.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, just being like straight editing on something like that. Yeah. And helping them out and getting that out there.
Excellent. I just lost what I was going to ask you, actually. Darn it all. Bummer. Anyway, it's been absolutely fantastic being able to talk to you and to have you here. Oh, that's what it was. Where can we see your promo video for Reggae on the River?
It should be on the Mateel website, or their YouTube page.
Okay.
Yeah, Mateel, I think it's just, Mateel Community Center.
Mateel Community Center. Okay.
Yeah, and it should be out like either tonight or tomorrow, which is today's the 9th.
Today's the 9th. So if tickets go on sale tomorrow, then the video should be up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Excellent. I definitely will be running to see that, because I'll be very excited to see what you came up with when you had a chance to check out everybody else's footage.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, what I want to say is thank you very much for coming on our show today and having a chat. I hope it wasn't too technical for you folks. I do appreciate all of this filming, and it was so nice to be able to speak with someone who's actually out there doing the freelance filming thing.
Yeah.
Well, from everyone here at Out Here in the Redwoods, thank you.
My name is Chris Smith, and I just recently got a gig with Animal Planet that my teacher sent me an email that they're going to be coming to the area to shoot a show called Treehouse Masters, and they needed production assistants. And I got lucky enough to get hired that same night, and I had to go down to the airport and pick the whole crew up and everybody and all their camera gear and load it into these like vans. It was just insane amounts of gear. And worked with them for 3 weeks and 12-hour days, a lot of work on a production, but it was very fun and a lot of learning experience how production works and stuff like that. So thank you.